Spotify shook things up when they signed a $100 million contract that said Joe Rogan can only produce content for Spotify. And then they shook things up again when they signed an exclusive contract with none other than Kim Kardashian. What's up, everybody? I am Jasprit Singh from theminorityMindset.com and welcome to The Minority Mindset. Spotify is a music and podcasting app that is changing the way you listen to music and podcasts. Back before the internet, you might remember, where if you wanted to listen to something that wasn't on the radio, you had to get a CD. And that meant if you were an artist or if you were a creator and you had some sort of content, maybe it was songs or an audiobook that you created, you needed to go and record this thing, put it on a CD, and then give it to stores and then hope people would buy your CD from stores. Then with the internet came the illegal downloading platforms like Napster and Kazaa that let you download music illegally but for free. And believe it or not, this illegal downloading actually set the stage for the audio industry as we know it. When Steve Jobs, the founder of Apple, saw all of this illegal music downloading going on, he thought, what if we created iTunes and the iPod so people can download all the music they want legally and listen to it on their iPod? Then came Apple Music, Google's Music Player, Spotify, Amazon Music, SoundCloud, and everything in between. Then for the last decade or so, we've been seeing this kind of free enterprise where you see content that's free all across the internet, and you might see the same content on multiple different platforms. Like you might see music videos on YouTube, and you might see the same song on Apple Music, and you might see the same song on Amazon Music, and maybe even Spotify. The way it worked for a lot of creators is they would create their content, whether it's a song or a podcast, and then they wanted it to be heard by as many people as possible, so they would put it on every single streaming platform that they could. The more people that hear your content across all the platforms, the more brand deals you would get, the more sponsorships you would get, and the more paid opportunities that you would get. And speaking of people listening to you, if you hit that thumbs up button below, YouTube will be more likely to share our content with other people, so hit that thumbs up. Now, it looks like Spotify is trying to shake up the industry again by innovating and forcing creators and listeners to pick a side. Spotify is investing hundreds of millions of dollars to get top names like Joe Rogan and none other than Kim Kardashian exclusively on their network, on their podcast, on their system, on their app, because then people, if they want to listen to Kim Kardashian or if they want to listen to Joe Rogan, they will have nowhere else to go except Spotify. This is a genius move by Spotify. And it's good for creators too. This is the exact same thing that Nike did, which made Nike so popular. Nike would take their shoes and then they would go over to celebrity athletes and pay them a lot of money to wear Nike. So when you turn on the TV and you see Michael Jordan, Ronaldo, LeBron James, Russell Wilson, Serena Williams, and Roger Federer wearing Nike, you don't want to go out and wear Gucci or Adidas, I guess. You want to buy some Nike. Spotify wants to do the exact same thing. If they can get your favorite internet celebrity to produce content only on Spotify, guess where you're going to be listening? Spotify. But let's put some numbers on it so you can see what I mean. In 2019, Joe Rogan got up to 190 million downloads on his podcast every single month. Out of those 190 million monthly downloads, he made some advertising money, he got some paid appearances, and he got sponsorship money. Add all that up, and he made something like $30 million in 2019 from his podcast alone. That made him the highest paid podcaster in 2019. Spotify is paying Joe Rogan more than 3 times what he made in 2019 just to do one thing. Keep making your podcasts, but only make them available on Spotify and nowhere else. Honestly, he's getting paid to save time because now his team doesn't have to publish his content on YouTube and everywhere else. From what it looks like, he can still get paid anywhere he wants. He can still get his advertising money, his sponsorships, his brand deals, and his paid gigs. This $100 million is only for him to produce his content on Spotify only. It looks like Joe Rogan is coming out the winner on this deal, but what about Spotify? What are they getting? Spotify is getting the rights to something that they wouldn't normally be able to buy. They're getting the rights to Joe Rogan's loyal audience. Remember, in 2019, he was getting up to 190 million downloads a month, and his fans are gonna follow him wherever he goes. Sure, maybe some of his fans will drop off, but let's say just 50% of his fans follow him to Spotify. That's like 95 million downloads a month. Multiply that by 12 months a year, and now we have over 1 billion downloads a year. Spotify makes the bulk of their money when you upgrade to Spotify Premium for about $10 a month, where you can listen to Joe Rogan and Kim Kardashian without any ads. If Spotify can get 1 million people to upgrade their accounts to Spotify Premium, which is about 1% of the 95 million downloads we were talking about a month earlier, but if they can get 1 million people to pay them $10 a month, that's $10 million in additional revenue every single month. That's $100 million in just 10 months. So they could get their money back through this plan in just 10 months for paying Joe Rogan $100 million to sign exclusively with Spotify. Even if they get only half of that, let's say 500,000 new paid subscribers paying just $10 a month, and that's not people going to the higher plans or doing these other things, they're just buying the base $10 a month plan, then that means that they will get their money back in less than 2 years. To put it in perspective, if you can get a 10% return on your money in the stock market, that's considered a great return. If Spotify can get 1 million new people to sign up for the Spotify paid plan, they will see more than 100% return on their money. Whether you love Kim Kardashian or hate Kim Kardashian, you cannot deny the fact that she has a huge and loyal audience. And her deal is a little bit different than Joe Rogan because Kim Kardashian is getting paid to now create a new podcast on Spotify. Kim Kardashian will be talking about criminal justice reform, and she's going to be getting paid a lot of money to do this. Spotify hasn't released the total details about how much money they're going to be paying Kim Kardashian yet, but you can bet she's going to be getting a big paycheck to sign her exclusive rights to her podcast to Spotify. Again, Spotify can calculate, a lot of people eat, sleep, and breathe Kim Kardashian, and they will listen to every word that she says. So if Kim Kardashian starts talking on our app, how many of these loyal fans will come over to us, and how many of them will pay this $10 a month to sign up for our premium subscription? How much money will that generate us? If Spotify does this the right way, they could see a huge return on their money, and that's what investors are betting on because they're using this as an opportunity to invest in the influencer marketing game because everybody knows now that influencer marketing is the future, and so investors are trying to get a piece of it. Even just like 5 or 6 years ago, back in like the early 2010s, nobody knew or cared about influencer marketing. It didn't matter. But now in 2020, big brands are starting to catch on, and they're trying to get a piece of this influencer marketing game. Actually, it's kind of funny. Less than a decade ago, influencer marketing used to be looked down upon, like it was something taboo and something you would never do. People would say things like, oh, what does somebody with 500,000 followers on YouTube or Instagram or Facebook know? Why would anybody listen to what they have to say? Now it looks like businesses are willing to pay top dollar for influencers to get them onto their platform. Like, to me, it looks like Spotify is trying to be the Nike of podcasts, and it's going to be interesting to see if they try to do the same thing with musicians. It's almost like they're trying to recreate the record label game right now with podcasts. Now, let me also make sure that this is clear. I'm not saying this or making this video telling you to invest in Spotify. I'm just trying to show you some of the things that businesses are doing to innovate. But you should not take this as, oh, I need to go and throw all my money into Spotify. Okay, make sure you do your own research. Investing has risks, and there is a chance that Spotify will lose a ton of money on these deals because there's a chance that Joe Rogan and Kim Kardashian won't bring any new listeners and they won't bring any new subscribers. So there's a chance that they can lose a lot of money because of this. But if Spotify can find a way to do this endorsement game the right way, it can be very lucrative for them, the business. It can be lucrative for the creator, and fans will love it because they'll feel like they're a part of something bigger than them. So this is definitely something you want to keep your eye on because as a random guy on YouTube, I can tell you that influencer marketing is not going away. Now, before I let you go, if you do want to stay up to date on what's happening in the top finance and business news, that way you can make the smartest decisions with your money, well, that's why we created the free Minority Mindset newsletter, where our team first breaks down the top finance and business news, and then we show you how this news affects your wallet. That way you can be smart with your money. This newsletter is completely free, and you can subscribe to our free finance and business newsletter by clicking the link up here or by clicking the link in the description below. By the way, our financial news emails are separate from our financial education emails. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, share it with one friend. That way we can help spread the word. If you have a mortgage and you were thinking about refinancing your mortgage, I made a video where I talked about how to refinance your mortgage the right way. That way you can save the most money. If you want to watch this video, you can watch it on YouTube by clicking this button right over here. Thank you for watching, and as always, keep hustling.